Good morning, Canadian Yarn Heart. My name is Elsa, and today we are going to be making this really cute hand towel with ghosts. So it's for Halloween. I'm going to move you over to the overhead can and let's get started. So if you are a returning viewer, I'm going to bet if you watched my Halloween one yesterday or the last, I did it yesterday, but I don't know when they're going to post. But if you watched that one, you will know that I said I was going to do a ghost one and it was going to be black. We are going to use the loops and threads, classic cotton big ball. It is a 4 medium cotton. It does recommend a 4.5 millimeter needle and a 5 millimeter needle hook. I am going to be using a 4 millimeter hook. Turn that on. And then I'm also going to be using this glow-in-the-dark yarn for the ghosts on that. So if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you. It's glad to see you again. You're going to chain 32 stitches. So that's your slip knot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32. And on that third bar down, that's where I like to go. You're going to do a single crochet, and you're going to single crochet each one of these bars all the way across. Now this is very similar to my other patterns for hand towels, and the reason I am making this very similar to my very first hand towel is simply because of the fact that it is black, and black yarn I'm pretty sure is not going to be the easiest to see on camera, so I really like the black and white look for the ghosts, so it's very hard to do this and not have a black background. So I'm just going to use the black. It is going to be single crochet, straight single crochet rows for 17 inches. It's kind of standard. I will come back when the border is to be done and show you how to do the border, and I'll show you how to make the ghosts. It's mostly going to focus on that. I do hope to earn your like and subscription. I do hope you leave a question, comment, or concern below, and anything you'd like to say, just hello or whatever. I have no problem reaching out and talking to you. If you have a channel and you'd like me to check it out, I have no problem checking out a channel. Oh, sorry. Got a knot in my yarn. And I'm just going to continue on. I will come back when I have the 17 inches, and I will show you how to finish it off. So I will see you there. Okay, so I have my 17 inches, and I'm just going to darn in this because we're now done with the black, so I don't need the black anymore. Or I'm going to need it a little bit, but not much. And that'll be right at the end for the ghost size. But, so we're just gonna come down and then double back and push the way out. So there's that. Trim that off. Now we're going to attach the glow in the dark. So you're going to find a spot on that you want to. You can do it straight, but I like to give myself a couple of stitches for the slip stitch. Makes it look a little nicer if it just isn't on a corner. Now you want to do 2. Come on. No. And now you're just going to single crochet all the way around the border. And I'll show you what to do when you get to the corners. I'll only show you one corner because it's all pretty much the same. And then you're going to want to do 3 rows of this border stitch, which is, like I said, just single crochet going around the border. And you just want to pick up each one. Just going all the way around the border. And then when we're done the 3 rows border stitches, we're going to start working on the ghost. Now I'm probably going to have a couple of ghosts already made up because I think I'm only going to have 3 or 4 on this one. So I'll have 2 or 3 made up, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I made the one, and that way I can just sew them on immediately for you. So we're just going to keep going and just keep single crochet in each of the spaces, giving you a chance to really highlight the border, and this black and glow in the dark look really good together. That's why for ghosts it really does work really well. And I'm sure you've seen, if you're a return visitor, you've seen some of the other hand towels I've made. It is fairly similar. I am trying to start changing up the stitches so that there's something a little different each hand towel I make. This one was a little harder because it is black, so it was easy to keep it simple, a simple stitch that I've used many times, so that when I get to the border, I can show you how the border's done, do the ghosts, and it still looks right. I mean, I guess you could have done purple, gray, brown, but black just really helps this glow in the dark pop to make this particular hand towel look really nice. And you're just going to keep going down the line. And I don't worry so much about a stitch count here just because you are totally adding to it. So, I mean, stitch count's not really big. But if you notice how there's not really much curlage, that's what'll tell you you've got a proper border. If you start to curl up, and here, I'll show you. We're just gonna over put too many in here. Just start trying to cram a bunch in when it should have only been 1 or 2. It starts to do that on itself. And you start to, and you can clearly tell that you have too many. You'll know it when you try to lay it flat and it's not 100% flat and it is starting to curl. This one is not too bad. If you notice, there's like a little bit right there and a little bit there, but that's not much at all. So that way, you know you don't have too many stitches. Now on the corner, you're just going to do 3 single crochets, and that's how you do each corner. And I am a big opinion of the opinion that you want to turn your work with you when you turn. It helps keep it flat. These are the stitches you've already worked on. You've already been working on, so you know that these are the stitches you pick up. And like I said, you just want to try and keep your work as flat as possible. If you do notice you've picked up too many stitches, you can always just decrease them, or you can sometimes, if you know that it's really crowding on itself and you're noticing it's really tight in the stitches, what you can do is just skip the stitch. And you can decrease that way too. It's not always a preferred. Sometimes you can't just decrease that way, but with these hand towels, it can happen that way. So I'm going to finish off my 3 rows and a few ghosts, and then I will come back, show you how to do the final ghost and how to put them on. I'll be back in a second. All right, so we are almost done. I have sewn on the 3 ghosts right now. We're going to make the 4th one. So what we're going to do is you want to leave a bit of a chain, just a little bit of a tail, and then you're going to put your slip knot on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 chains. You're then going to go 1, 2 in that 3rd hoop, and you're going to single crochet all the way down the chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then in the slip stitch, I'm just going to loosen it off because you're going to notice it regardless of whether you use it or not. So you may as well work into it. Especially like to do that when I'm going around like I'm about to. So you want to put it in the hole. And then you're going to do 3 single crochets in this hole. So 1, 2, 3. I know I normally work the tail in, but you want to use that to actually sew your project. So you don't want to work the tail. Just going to work down this side now. And catch each stitch. You notice you've got 2 strands there, you grab that. And then if you notice you've got 2 more strands there, so that's your next stitch. And then there's the next one. There's the next one. And here is your last one. And then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, turn, and then you're going to work the same way again. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to do 2 single crochet in this one. 1, 2, 1, 2. You're going to do it in the 3 stitches that you did last time. So then 1, 2. So there's your 3. And you're going to finish by following down this line again. Just keep going all the way down. We're almost there. 2 more stitches. 1 and 2. Now leave a tail. You're going to need it to help sew it on. And that's what I was about to warn you to be careful not to do, but I have a nice long tail here, so I'm not worried too much. So I'm going to tie that one up and in. Because I did trim the wrong end. It happens. But I'm not worried because I have a nice long tail anyways. But this way it's tightened up. Now what you're going to do, I want it to kind of have this bit of a slant to it. So I'm just going to kind of try and manipulate it because I want it to go like that. I guess I could do this. So what I'm going to do is, because normally I, slant like that is how I want it, because it's going to go like that. But we're going to grab the black and we're going to do the eyes and the mouth right now. So what I like to do, find a stitch in the back. You want to come, pull it through, down, Now you're going to repeat that exact stitch placement. So right where you put it in, you're going to double it up so that the black is actually a little more prominent and a little more visible. So there's one eye. Come over here to this side. You're going to try and get the placement you like. The eye right about there. So I'm going to, don't like the placement of how high it is. So I'm just going to, there. That's where I want it. Here. Up and down. Through. And then kind of come up here. And this is where you're going to do the mouth. So you're going to kind of try and pull it up enough. Do a third one. Pull it through. And I will tie the black. I'm not too worried about it being seen. So I'm going to tie that up. Trim that off. Because you're going to have that hidden. So you won't see that. Pull the black string off. I don't need that anymore. And then you're going to try and put your placement as to where you want your ghost placed. So I kind of want it like that. And getting the first one in is usually the biggest thing. Once you get the first stitch sewn in, you're usually pretty good. Open it up. Now I am doing them all on the one side because I have discovered having it on both sides means people can't figure out where to wash their hands. They're afraid to hit your decoration sometimes. So by moving it so that there's nothing on the back, that's where people will dry their hands, not on your pretty appliques that you've made. Or sometimes the appliques get in the way. They're not bad, but they're not, I mean, you can still dry your hand on the appliques. They're still cotton, usually. Pretty sure I'm always using cotton for hand towels. That is because it's absorbent. It's good for drying. It's a natural fiber. There are plenty of reasons why cotton is a really good option for that. Acrylic's not so good for this. So now I am right on the edge here, so I'm going to put a bit of a turn and a shift in it just so that I get a bit of an angle that I'm looking for. Now I'm going to pull this one down. I'm going to grab the other one and come down as well. And because I know I'm getting low with these ends, these tails, pull that through. I'm going to tie these up. Tie this one up. Now this glow in the dark yarn is very splitty, if you can see that. It does split. So you do want to take a bit of extra care with it. So I am just going to darn in the one end, so the one end will be out of my way. So go, pull, there's that, trim off that. Now we're going to come back to darning. And you're just going to keep moving this way and sewing it on. Just so that he's in place, since I am going to need more yarn for this row, which I can tell I'm going to need. I'm going to bring this one down, grab this extra strand I had for sewing on the others, because if you don't have a long tail, you might want to do that. Just trim a longer tail and then use that as your sew-in thread, because that way you already have the tail, it's already sitting there ready to go, and you don't have to worry so much about grabbing more thread as you're working. Oh, that's my end there. Just want to keep going up it, trying to ensure you get it all nice and sewed on. And there you pretty much have it. So I'm just gonna try and keep to the white so that way it doesn't bleed through on the black. However, knowing that's below, I'm not too terribly worried. It should not shine through too much. So there's that. Trim that off. I'm going to darn these two in. And then we are actually done this project. So as I said in my video, I do hope to earn your like and subscription. I hope to hear from you in a question, comment, or concern below, or just to say hi or anything else of that nature. And I'm just going to trim, flip it over for you to see, and there you have it. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.